built on relationships, focused on people, and rooted in the community. Welcome to the Build Blue podcast. Tune in for weekly episodes featuring guests who are building a better tomorrow. You'll hear inspiring stories from industry leaders, business owners, community partners, and our team members. The Build Blue podcast, where construction comes to life. An APX Construction Group production. Well, welcome to the Build Blue podcast. My name is Jess Blaze with APX Construction Group, and I am here on location. We've only done this, I think, one other time before for the podcast, and this is by far the most glamorous luxe setup, and I think we need to record all of our podcasts here because your new clinic, Heidi, is so beautiful. We are with Heidi Hermel at the Mankato Med and Skin Clinic. Hello, how are you?
I'm great.
Oh, we're so happy to be here, and thank you for letting us come into your beautiful new space. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about your business, and we're going to talk about you. Let's start by having you tell us about your background and what led you to your current role.
So I am a nurse practitioner, and I graduated in 2010, so about 12 years. Before that, I was a nurse. My background was in OB, and I spent, 7 years in primary care as a nurse practitioner, and then a few years in urgent care. And during that time, I had taken classes in medical aesthetics and really loved that side of medicine and helping people feel better about themselves. And I loved building relationships. So when I went to urgent care, I didn't get that anymore because patients would come and go. You just didn't have that, that follow-up. And aesthetics offers that because you build a relationship with the client that's ongoing. And so I decided that this was the role I wanted to take in my career. So I opened up Mankato Med and Skin Clinic at the time. So I was going to do medical care and aesthetics. And after 2 months of opening, COVID hit, so I shut down for 3 months. And when I opened back up, the aesthetic side of it just boomed, and I have phased out of doing medical care, and I do strictly skin and aesthetics now.
So let's talk about you have a wide array of services. Let's talk about some of those services that you offer.
Sure. So I started with injectables, so Botox and fillers, and then I expanded to laser, so I can treat things like laser hair removal. To keep the medical side of it, my laser also treats rosacea, melasma, acne, warts, toenail fungus, spider veins. So that was the first where I branched off and brought in a piece of equipment. Shortly after that, I started doing more like skin tightening, radiofrequency microneedling, vaginal rejuvenation, body contouring, and most recently I have brought in PDO lifting threads and some of the more long-term fillers, which we call biostimulators, so they actually build collagen and last for a few years.
Oh, wow. Let's talk about self-care. That's a term that a lot of people associate with a bubble bath or going shopping or something like that. But really what you do is absolutely self-care for your patients.
Yeah, definitely. So I really believe that it is so important for just overall well-being to take time for yourself and be okay with taking time for yourself. So part of why I love this job is I am hoping to influence other women to also realize it is okay to do self-care, because when you take care of yourself, you're a better mom, partner, coworker, and when you feel better about how you look on the outside, you do feel better about yourself on the inside, and that is very rewarding to see.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm grateful that I've had the opportunity to receive several treatments here with you. What's your most popular treatment?
Probably, definitely Botox and filler. Laser hair removal is very popular. Body contouring has really become a service that many people are seeking out, and probably PDO lifting threads.
And because some of your treatments are, your patients are coming in multiple times for their treatment. So what's that process like with your staff and you getting to know them and kind of getting to see that change in them throughout the procedures?
Yeah, so my favorite way to meet a client is by doing a consult where I can sit down, really learn about them, what their goals are, because this is a journey. You know, people say, well, how long does this last? Unfortunately, we continue to age and our skin will show it. So nothing is permanent except a tattoo, which I can also remove. And I do quite a few of that now too. But, you know, it's just rewarding to see, you know, sometimes people come in and they just want to learn more about their skin. They may do a chemical peel. Other people just want to start with Botox. But then as we continue to age, their needs also change. So I get to know them through that process where in a few years they may need filler or they might be interested in doing some skin tightening. And that's the goal with myself and our staff, is to create a welcoming environment where people want to come back to and feel comfortable entering the space and feeling comfortable with taking the time to do something for themselves, and also feeling comfortable to do Botox, because I just was reading something today and over 9 million people get Botox a year. So I guarantee you that people say, well, I don't know anybody who does that. I'm sure they know somebody, they just can't tell, you know, or they don't talk about it. So
Sure.
I'm trying to normalize that aesthetics is a normal thing to do.
Absolutely. And it's not just for celebrities,
No.
and it's not just for people in California or New York City.
Mm-hmm.
And it's super common. It's not invasive. It feels great.
Mm-hmm.
Once you're done and you get that, like, oh, I can feel it. I can feel
Mm-hmm.
it working. I know my forehead looks smooth, and that feels good.
Yeah, definitely.
And it's absolutely normal. And you're right. I think a lot more women specifically are talking about it now, it seems like, and maybe that's just the people that I talk to, or because I have had it, that it feels like more people are talking about it.
I think so. It is becoming more. It's becoming more normal.
Yeah.
Just like you color your hair when it starts
Sure.
to go gray, and I'm seeing more men too.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great point. Self-care isn't just for women, and the services that you provide aren't just for women. This is absolutely things that are going to make men look and feel great too.
Mm-hmm. And so, so injectables, that's probably where I find men start, like with Botox. But I do have men that are open to other treatments too, because they want to age gracefully as well.
Yeah, definitely.
And take care of their skin.
The med spa industry, it's a fast growing industry. You just talked about the amount of people who get Botox across the nation, and your business is a true testament to that. So let's talk about your growth since you opened. Was it late 2019, Heidi?
Yeah, that's when I started the process, and I had to do a build out at my other location. And so I think I officially, the first day in my other clinic was January 17th of 2020. Yes, because it was 2 months to the day, I think, when I had to shut down. When I started, it was just me. I answered the phone, I scheduled appointments, and I saw the patients. And about, I'd say 15 months later, I hired my first employee that could help me on the business side. And in the last year, I now have 8 employees.
Wow, that's huge. And I think that just speaks to the experience that people have when they come here. They have a great experience, and they want to keep coming back and refer their friends. And that's a great testament to the work that you do. Mm-hmm. Your new clinic. Let's talk about this beautiful space. If you're watching on YouTube, you can see, I said, I wish I could live here. and a couple of your gals said, you're not the first one who said that. So let's talk about your new space and the process of creating this environment.
Yeah, so when I knew I needed to find a larger location, I thought, it's after the pandemic, it would be easy. And there wasn't a lot of retail space to move, commercial space to move into. So I went online and found this beautiful building that I thought I was going to be moving into. And then they informed me, that's just a drawing. We have to build it first. So I have never gone through this before. I have never built a house. We just remodeled our kitchen, but that was the extent of my experience. So from working with the realtor and the developer and then APEX, just learning about the process of how to do a build out and what it entails I remember the first meeting I went in with APEX, and they had up on the computer, the big screen, and they're like, okay, how big do you want your rooms? And I'm like, I don't know, how big are my old rooms? Like, when I looked at the big picture, that's just not how I envision how I can picture it.
Right.
And so that's where they helped me with the process by measuring my old room, saying this is in comparison. And just like with anything in construction, there were some bumps in the road with permits and things like that. So during that time, I worked with Jess Cass from Yodelback Design to help with the design and the interior space. And then we'd order furniture, and then we'd find out the furniture they couldn't get. So, it's a rewarding process, but a lot of work.
Yeah, absolutely.
I can't imagine ever building a house, honestly. And the amount of decisions you have to make in a quick, short amount of time, and hoping that it's like, did I make the right decision? Are there enough rooms? But, after seeing it all, the final product, it was worth it, but it was a lot of work.
I was just going to ask. So there was a lot of things that you had to decide, a lot of things that went into it, a lot of people involved. Was it worth it?
Definitely.
Great. You really thought of every detail. You and Jess, your designer, I mean, there's so much thoughtfulness put into this space, and you can feel it as soon as you walk in. How do you hope your clients feel and your patients feel when they come in?
Yeah, and when I've worked with like marketing, they'll say, describe your brand. And I struggle with that, but I really want to attract like the target mom, somebody who feels comfortable in this space where they don't feel like, well, I can't enter that because it's too fancy for me, or, where it can really capture all types of women, where they come in and they immediately feel comfortable. And my old clinic was 500 square feet and a very cozy, especially as we had 7 staff and 2 clients in there. But everybody commented they felt so comfortable. And that's really what I wanted to create and not lose with a larger space. And I think that's where working with Jess, she understood that vision and helped really keep my brand in mind with the design. And I also wanted it to not only be comfortable, but stunning. I wanted people to walk in and be in awe.
And it really is. It fits the bill perfectly. It has that aspirational, but still accessible. Mm-hmm. Like it's beautiful, it's elevated, but you do feel comfortable when you come in, and it sounds like that's what you were going for.
Definitely.
So, how do you feel in the new space?
Some days it's, I've been fortunate where I always love to come to work and I love my job, but in my old space, I was confined to, it was small. I wasn't able to always offer as much like the privacy where, clients, we'd have a few sitting out, where it's being able, there's a fly. It's being able to provide where, some people will want to sit in here and hang out, and that's fine. Other people want to be, go into the procedure room right away and have it be more discreet. And I feel like when I come, I'm able to meet all the needs now of my clients, because we have the space. My staff as well, as I brought on more staff in my old location, we didn't have a microwave or a fridge or anywhere to put our coat. It was in the basement. So just also helping my team feel more comfortable has been awesome, and that really has come to life this week. I was a little bit, you open, we have a new computer system. We've had a lot of other changes as well, but it actually went pretty smooth.
That's great to hear.
And I've hired a team where we all work really well together. So that, I feel it's just a sense of like accomplishment, and I feel, I'm proud of the space I've created.
You should be proud.
Yeah,
absolutely. Have you experienced an aha moment in your career where you felt like everything that you had been through had kind of led you to that point and you knew you were right where you were supposed to be?
Yeah, I think, really after opening, deciding to start my own business, and that was also a lot of work over the, 5 months of waiting to move into my other space. And I just started getting things going, and then COVID hit, and it was so much the unknown, like when are we going to open again, and what did I do? Is this the right move for my family? And then when I opened back up and every month saw the growth, And then when I was able to start hiring people and grow professionally, not only as a nurse practitioner, but as a business owner, and understand, learning the marketing and how to build a team, and to be able to help others that work with me has been where I'm like, this is what I'm supposed to do.
That's awesome. That's so awesome. And Lower North Mankato, that is where your new clinic is, 235 Belgrade, and this area is booming.
Yes.
It's been really exciting for us at APEX to be involved in several of the projects here, including your clinic and Franzen Bank across the street. Do you feel the exciting energy of surrounding yourself and embedding your business into this area and surrounding yourself with these businesses?
Yes, definitely. So I lived in North Mankato for 13 years, or probably 15 years actually, after college. And we love North Mankato. I feel like it's a small community next to a larger city. And our kids went to school here, and then we ended up moving out of the community. We live on Lake Jefferson, but I always loved North Mankato, and that's when I was looking for a space. That's why when I saw the building, I didn't even know there was an empty lot here. I'm like, seriously?
I don't think anyone did until they put a building here.
An empty lot between by Dino's and neutral grounds. So, it's just, seeing the other businesses expand. Neutral grounds expanded. The Circle, Jenny has it's the Beast.
The Beast, yeah.
Yes, it's just to be, and Dino's, to see the other women businesses be so successful, and it is it's just a great environment. I stopped into Neutral Grounds yesterday. The staff from Minari Bodywork stopped over and welcomed us. So, and hopefully it will create some more foot traffic for the businesses around here too, where people are like, oh my gosh, I didn't know that was there.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh yeah, you got to check out the really cute baby clothes over at, we went in there yesterday and I was like, I need somebody to have a baby, because it's just that is this beautiful.
It is. And their expansion and the things that they have with the charcuterie boards and the home decor. It's just so special.
Yeah. It's really fun to see this area come back to life.
Yeah, definitely. How rewarding is it? And you've touched on this a little bit, Heidi, but for you to help your patients feel better in their skin, what's it like when you see them walking out and knowing that they're standing a little taller?
Yeah. And that's just it. There's nothing vain about getting Botox. That's why I always use analogy. If you have gray hair, you color your hair, because you might not want to be gray at 25 like I was. And for women to see that and just feel better, what's hard, Botox doesn't kick in for 2 weeks. So I see that when they come back for the recheck. But when they do things like lip filler and you hand them the mirror and they have a big smile on their face and you instantly see how much better they feel about themselves. And it's not because people who have wrinkles or because they needed lip filler, they're not a beautiful person. It's people do this for themselves, not because other people don't love them because of that. Like when people say, well, my family thinks I look fine. Well, of course they think you look fine. They love you the way you are. You do it for you and feeling better. And that's why when people will come in and say, well, what should I do? I always ask, what bothers you? Because if it doesn't bother you, why fix it? I mean, there's a lot of things we could do, but we don't. I mean, this is a journey. I'm not going to recommend 5 procedures like the first day they come in.
Yeah.
And so to see that over time, or after I've known clients for a few years, when they say, oh my gosh, I saw a picture that popped up on Facebook 2 years ago and man, did I look old. And I'm like, that's amazing. You're 2 years older and you look younger.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, and I think too with COVID, a lot of people, we were stuck inside, and I think people realize it is important to take care of ourselves. And, we reevaluated what was important, and I think that's part of the reason aesthetics is booming.
Oh, completely. And I can speak to that. Like when I first came here, you and I were kind of talking about what procedures made sense, and I brought up lip filler, and you were like, to be honest, you don't need lip filler. And I was like, oh, okay. I didn't know it was my first time visiting a med spa, and I didn't know, kind of what direction I even wanted to go. But you were very upfront with me, and you didn't just do services because you offered them. It was very much a personalized approach, and I appreciated that.
Yeah, I'll never recommend something I don't think that is going to work, because I mean, that just, I think the nurse training, that, ultimately I'm always a nurse. Mm-hmm. So I want to help people. And like I said, I'm never, and I've actually told people no. I've said, no, I don't think that's the right procedure for you, or I don't think it's, because there's some things too in aesthetics that aren't safe or have higher risk, and I'm not afraid to tell them, I don't think that is the best, in your best interest, and I'd rather have safe care and maybe have a client walk away wishing I would have done something than doing something that potentially could be harmful. So,
and that absolutely shows how much you care about your patients and the customers that come here. So I think that that's wonderful. Let's talk about your membership program, how people can learn more about your services, your retail, and some of those kind of details.
Yeah, so I have a membership program where clients can pre-invest 2 different levels. There's gold and diamond. So basically it's just a savings account where the money goes in every month. So when they come in, they have that money in their account, but it's also a way to reward loyalty. So every single service, if you are either a gold or diamond, you get a discount. You get discount on products. Hopefully now with this new space, we're going to do some VIP events where women will come in, and I think that's so important too, because it's a place for women to gather. We get very caught up in our kids' lives, and we're running here and there. And I feel like, as I noticed as my kids got older, you lose that connection sometimes with other women your same age, unless you're sitting next to them at like the gymnastics meet, or
totally,
right? Yes. I mean, because you're in your car running around,
yep.
And where you don't really realize that you don't take time to socialize with other women, and so I really want to start doing that. So, but yeah, the membership's very popular because you can just pre-invest. It's like a savings account, and then you can get discounts on every single service.
That's wonderful. And so if people are interested in learning more about your services or booking an appointment, let's talk website, socials, things like that, where they can follow you.
Yeah. So I have a website. We just changed. It's MankatoSkinClinic.com. I have an Instagram page, Facebook. You can just search the Skin Clinic Mankato, and you can always call here. Yeah. We have online booking, but a lot of our clients call, and I'm okay with that, because if they want to call and we help them book an appointment, that is totally fine. So yeah, you can book online, you can book a consult. Consultations are free, because I want people to feel comfortable and no pressure to come in and learn about what we can do and help them make the best decision on what is the right path for them as well.
Mm-hmm, definitely. One word that you've said a couple of times in regards to your patients is journey. Mm-hmm. And you've also mentioned that about your career. So one more question before we wrap up. Do you think through this journey from starting your own business just a few years ago to building your brand new clinic, have you changed on this journey?
Yeah, definitely. You have to have really thick skin when you own a business. There's people out there who are not always happy when they see other people's success. But I ultimately have learned I'm doing this for me, the community, my family, my coworker, my team, and that's really what matters. And I think probably the journey, it's really becoming a leader in my clinic, with my employees, because nobody teaches you when you go to nursing school how to be a boss.
Yeah.
We are taught how to be a nurse, or even NP school. And so that has been a lot of, personal growth on how to lead a team. And I mean, that's where my self-care comes in, personal development, and really learning how to not only be a good injector, but how to run a business.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so much growth, so much change. I'm so excited for you in your beautiful new space, 235 Belgrade. APX was thrilled to partner with you on this project, and we're so glad to hear that you're thrilled. So thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.